Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, last time I showed off my flintlocks. Well, around the year 1805, a fellow who happened to be a Presbyterian minister up in Scotland, his name was, what was it? Alexander John Forsyth. I forget the first name. I think it was Alexander, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Forsyth was playing around with some fulminate of mercury, and he noticed that if he hit it with a hammer, it went bang. Well, he'd been out hunting, and he got really tired of flintlocks that would spark and would do a flash in the pan, and his game would just run away, or he would otherwise lose out on the game, all blamed on that flintlock. And then he discovered this fulminate stuff, and he thought, And in 1807, he developed an idea that he patented, and it used a small little metal container of this fulminate with a little tiny point on it. He had a hammer that went into a little cup right on the face of a hole into the firing chamber of the rifle. And what you do is you tip the what he called the scent bottle into that little cup, and then tip it back up so that only a little bit would go into it. Then you'd cock the hammer, and they'd be ready for the game, and it would bang, and the fulminate explosion would carry over into the chamber and ignite the gunpowder, and away goes the gun. He had just invented percussion ignition. Well, the Master General of the Ordnance at the Tower of London said, "This looks like a pretty damn good plan. Here, have a area of the tower you can use as a workshop, and you can continue this work." And so he started working on it, and then that guy, I don't know if he retired or he got replaced, but another guy became Master General of Ordnance, and he basically said enough of this and kicked him out. So Forsyth went home and developed sporting rifles based on the system, and they did very well, and he made some good money. And it was much later that the Crown decided, basically, we should go with this thing. And they awarded him a pension, but by the time bureaucracy's wheels had grinded to getting it done, by the time the first bit of the money was dispensed, he was already dead. So typical of inventors, they get screwed. Well, anyway, these are a couple of percussion rifles that I have. And that Forsyth system was later perfected into what we came to call the percussion cap, which would fit on a cone or nipple here. And then you would fire it and drive the hammer down onto the percussion nipple and the cap. Bang, it would go into the chamber and shoot the gun. This is a Spanish Jucar. It's not that fancy a weapon. It's 50 caliber, and it shoots well, but it's not that fancy. The trigger is pretty abysmal, kind of hard, but it works sort of. Another one I've got, also 50 caliber, is this Thompson Center, and what's good about it is it's got a set trigger. So pull the back one and then just lightly hit the front one, and I didn't catch it in time, but this one's a much better trigger system and has some great sights on it. Actually, it has this thing, which would be great if I had a different insert in here. This thing is just abysmal. I need to either drill it out or put a new one on it. I'm not sure which, and I don't know if you can even get these anymore. But this one is completely corked up. I think whoever had it before did not clean it right and it rusted. Anyway, but it shoots. You know, I've shot it using just the iron sights, and that works. But I'd like to get this thing fixed. Anyway, those two are very nice. And I've also got some inlines, but like with Garrett at 11 Bang Bang, I don't particularly care for them. This is my favorite. It doesn't have a set trigger, but it is just absolutely gorgeous. This is an Antonio Zoli, which is an Italian make. This is 58 caliber, and it's just a standard percussion cap, and it works. It's just got standard iron sights, and it's a beautiful blue barrel. Both of these are octagonal. This one's round, but it's just a beautiful gun. Zoli no longer makes these kind of guns. Of course, Thompson Center doesn't, and I don't know about the Jukar, if they're still made or not. But this one, Zoli's still in business, but they're making extremely high-end shotguns these days. That name in Italy is like saying Purdy or Holland and Holland in London, or the early Abercrombie and Fitch guns, or any of the high-end shotguns that were available. Zoli is known for those. But this shows the quality craftsmanship of that particular company, I think. And it's a very beautiful gun. And I think it's just marvelous. Shoots really well. Anyway, I'll just set that here. How's that? Yeah, I'll just set that right there. Right there. There you go. You can look at it. It's a nice old gun. And I like guns. I love guns. I just love guns. But after the flintlock, the percussion lock system was the king. And it lasted from its invention, or its patent at least, in 1807, until the dawn of the rimfire and later centerfire metallic cartridge, which was really took off in the 1870s. So most of the 19th century was with these things, percussion cap guns. And even into the 20th century, percussion cap guns were used, in the West at least, because they were everywhere. And you could get one really cheap at your local hardware store or pawn shop. And it would do what you needed to take care of those coyotes that were threatening your herd, or going after a deer for your winter's meat supply, or whatever your needs might be. And you could go and do it cheap. Black powder and percussion caps were just dirt cheap. And these new metallic cartridge guns, they were kind of pricey. So this is what you do. Heck, up until early 20th century, you could still get pepper box revolvers. I should do a video on that. I've got a couple of pepper boxes. And well, actually, I did a video on pepper box. Look back in my back catalog. You'll find a video on pepper boxes. But anyway, percussion capped firearms. I've got a whole bunch of revolvers on the wall behind you that are just percussion cap. They're all percussion cap. Well, I should have showed one of those too, but just thought I'd go with the rifles first. They're fun. Anyway, happy trails.